This is the Roller and the Stroller podcast. I'm Josiah, the roller, and I was born with cerebral palsy and navigate the world in a wheelchair alongside my best friend Kelly, the stroller.
In this podcast, we discuss living with a disability, adapting to surroundings in a wheelchair, and the challenges we face together. We talk about things like going to concerts, traveling, everyday tasks, and sports.
But also get into deeper topics like religion, self-talk, medical needs, and some of the frustrations of using a wheelchair. We will give insight on how to enjoy life with a disability
and share advice on how to understand someone with a disability.
Welcome to the Roller and the Stroller.
This podcast is a Sidewallstudios production.
Hello there, and welcome to the Roller and the Stroller. My name is Josiah, and I am your resident roller.
And I am Kelly, and I am your stroller. And if you can't see us on YouTube, this is Monkey. He is our producer.
Say hello, Monkey.
He says, hi. So today we're talking about service animals.
Yes.
Monkey is not a service animal, but he's the bestest little animal. But he wants to be let down, so I'm going to put him
And if you don't know, I had a service dog, and I got him. His name was Racer 2, Lil Racer. He was a black Labrador, and I got him through the organization called Canine Companions for Independence.
Okay.
And I got him in 2009. I was 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what this organization does is sets you up with assistance dogs. And they have you do an interview process, an application process. They have you travel to California, Riverside, California, to do a 2-week training course with them and the dog. So they tell you, like, all of the commands that the dog knows. 40 commands. Anything from, like, open the door. Like, of course, there's your usual stuff, like sit, stay, all of that. But there's also, like, jump up and open the door, press this button for the accessibility button. And there's also, like, pick things up for me, turn off the lights. And so I had to travel with my mom and my brother, my mom and my brother to...
Why do you always say it like you're British?
My mom...
Yeah. Are you British?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To Riverside, California. And then for the first 3 days, they are matching you up with your service animal. So it's your cadence, how you interact with them, and how you, like, say the commands to them. Because one of the things that they said is that they have to believe that you are in charge. Otherwise, they're not going to listen. And then for like 10 days, you're working specifically with that dog. And you're saying, like, heel, you drop something, they pick it up for you, or they hop up on your lap. The one thing that they couldn't do was pull me. So I got matched up with a dog named Racer, and he was a little black Labrador. He was so cute.
And it's very appropriate that his name is Racer because you like to go fast.
Yes, and I will say I loved Racer. However, I was very young and immature, and if I could go back now, I would take way more. I would pay more attention to him, and I would take more care of him.
Okay.
Than I did.
Okay.
I was not a very good dog owner. Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way, but other times, like, it should be intuitive, and it was not for me.
Okay.
But if I could go back now, or if I potentially get another one right, I would take way better care of the service animal. My friend. He's basically my sidekick.
Yeah.
So that means anywhere from, like, exercise, grooming, brushing the teeth, playing, taking on walks or rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Rolls. Like, letting them have free time as well, which means time with their vest off. Because as soon as they had their vest on, their whole demeanor changed. And they're much more well-behaved, more reserved.
So how long did you have Racer?
I had him until 2015, I believe, when I left for college.
Okay, and is it because you just left for college, or did he die?
I left for college, then he basically retired. So the lifespan of the dog, when it's supposed to work for you, is... basically, it has to stop by 9 or 10. But Racer retired a little bit early. I think he was like 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I left for college. And then...
Did you miss him?
Yes.
Oh.
Going... Here's the thing. I was not a good owner.
Were you attached to Racer?
Yes, I was. But I was like, only when it's like when I can do it. And I should have made more time for Racer. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Like, you have to make time for your pets.
You do.
And even if it's a service animal, you still have to take care of them. And then I just wasn't recognizing that, even though they go through all of that with you in the training. I guess I didn't want to or retain that information. It's like, I was not a good dog owner at the time. I would be a much better dog owner right now. It's kind of been in the discussion with my family whether I should get a new dog, because my mom was the co-facilitator with me because I was not like an adult at the time. But now I can be like the 100% facilitator. He or she takes commands from me.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about some of the stuff that you and what Racer helped you do.
So Racer would open doors for me. He would turn off the lights for me. He would pick things up for me. He would travel with me.
So if you said like Racer lights or something, he would know to go turn off the lights.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Isn't
cool.
that cool?
What do you like, close doors?
Yeah.
That's really cool. So question, did he help you with anything else other than like physical tasks? Like when you had your leg seizures or leg spasms, I guess, what would he do?
No, he didn't
Okay.
clock any of that.
Okay.
And like, he was an assistance dog, which means he would help me with like tasks.
Okay.
He wasn't an alarm dog of like, if I'm having spasms or anything, he wouldn't be privy to it.
What are
there are
some
different categories of service animals.
That's pretty cool.
I had an assistance dog. That was what Racer was.
It's cool that you mentioned that, because I think a lot of people like me categorize all service animals into one. I don't think of separate, like emotional, emergency, assistance. I'm just like, the dog does everything, but it sounds like that's not true. The dog has a specialty. Much like we have a specialty in our professions, or there's different disabilities and there's different service dogs.
We applied for an assistance dog, and I could apply now, and maybe I should, but I need to like make sure that I can take care of them.
Yeah, dogs are a lot.
No, because their life, well, yes, but their life is worth it. Like, they should have a good life.
Yes.
I need to be in the right mindset and right place for that.
It's a good thing you recognize that about yourself, because some people don't.
Because I realized during the first go around is that he was probably at times unhappy.
So did you get Racer because you wanted to, or because your family wanted to?
I wanted to, and then I don't know. I guess something happened.
That's weird,
that
because
I was not.
You're so independent. I would not expect that you would want a dog, like want an assistance dog. That's very interesting.
Now you're making me think like.
Well,
I think ultimately it was my decision. I think it was suggested to me by my family.
Okay.
I'm much more mature than I was before.
Yes. When we were children, I had dogs growing up, and they never really seemed like my responsibility. They always kind of seemed like my parents' responsibility, and the dog was more of like my friend.
Yeah.
But now that I have 3 fur babies, I recognize how much work it is. Andrew was easy. I got him at 2, and he came from the middle of nowhere. He was found at an abandoned gas station in the middle of the desert near the 4 corners. I got him, and he has been so easy. Andrew is the easiest dog I've ever had. The cats are a different story. I got both of them as kittens. They were huge riots, and they still are very, very difficult. I have to kind of plan more around them than I do Andrew, which I think most people are like, oh, cats are easy, cats are easy. I must have got the 2 most rambunctious cats in the world. Now as an adult, I have to take them to the vet. I have to, when Monkey has a very bad immune system, so I have to really pay attention to him. Monkey can also open doors. So I have to make sure like everything is locked, even when I'm taking a shower, or else he opens my door and God knows where he's going. Goes. Bug has been stuck in the closet one time because he shut the door on her. It's just,
that's so mean.
It's so funny. I have stories for days, but like, as a child, you don't have to pay for dog food, cat food, anything like that.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, I think you would take more of like that parent role, because you would have to, and then you would want to.
Yeah, I wish I would have taken more ownership.
I think it's hard at 15,
At the end of the day, Racer was mine.
I had a childhood dog his name is Astro, and he was the best dog I've ever had. I love Andrew, but I got Astro as a puppy. So we were extremely bonded. Looking back, I kind of feel the same as you. Like, my dad took Astro on a lot of hikes and a lot more walks than I did. And I'm like, man, I should have been the one because that was really my dog. But you're 15.
Yeah,
like, you don't
I was 14
understand
and 15 14 when it started.
And then you went off to college.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I went off to college and Astro stayed home with my parents. But now, like, we live in our own place with my own animal, and I decide where Andrew goes at what specific time.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's different. I have the same kind of regrets as you when it comes to Astro.
Yeah, I have a lot of regrets.
And I think that's okay because we're children, but it's not like we abused them or neglected them. It's just like we recognize now as adults, I should have put more effort into this relationship, this friendship.
Yeah.
You could say that about anything, though. You could say that about romantic relationships, platonic relationships.
Absolutely.
So you recognize that growth. And I like the fact that you're not like, oh, I could do it now. Like, you're going back and forth. You're kind of second guessing yourself. Like, I have to be ready for it. I have to understand what I'm doing. That shows a lot of maturity because a lot of people don't do that. Is they see a cute little animal and they're like, I want that animal right away without thinking, am I going to have enough hours at home to spend time with the animal?
Yeah. Are we going to be able to go on walks and rolls? Mm-hmm. Am I going to be able to play fetch?
How are you going to pick up its poop?
Is it going to be a situation where I get home? Because if I bring the dog to work, then it's just sitting in my office with me. And then if I leave the dog at home, well, what was the point of getting a dog or that doesn't have the opportunity to help me? And then are we going to have the relationship where I give it its food, give the water, and all of that stuff, but actually don't spend time and build that relationship?
And I work at a place where I can bring Andrew in when I want, which is really, really nice. Another thing is, like, I can work half the day in the office and half from home. So I can leave Andrew here for 4 hours, come back, walk him for lunch. Mm-hmm. Or the third option is usually the best, is I drop him off at my parents' house and he has a blast all day barking at squirrels and playing with their dogs. Mm-hmm. That is such a rare blessing that most people don't have.
Yeah.
Like, some of my coworkers, God bless them, they have to do what they can, but like, their dog is crated for 6.5 hours or like whatever, or they don't have a backyard and they live in an apartment. Mm-hmm. So it is a very wise decision of you to think about it before you just go for another service pet.
Yeah, because I've learned from the last time, and we can talk all about like how much I regret it, because I do. Because I know also, like, there's practice time of the commands. Like, you have to run through the commands and refresh them and make sure they know.
So some listeners might be saying, well, dogs aren't the only service pets. You can get a cat. So when I lived in an apartment downtown, my upstairs neighbor had a emotional support cat, and it really helped him. He suffered from alcoholism, and it was really bad that like his liver and kidney and all that was failing and all that. He could barely walk, and his cat was like the reason he got up every day. He felt, if I have this cat, I have a reason to keep fighting to live, or I'll just like waste away in my bed, because he didn't have a job. Mm-hmm. His parents, I think, paid for the rent. And he was a very nice guy. I don't think he's alive anymore, but he actually got taken away when I lived in my apartment to like a ranch in like Montana or something for treatment.
He got taken, like the human or the cat?
The human.
The human.
The cat went with him.
Okay.
But the cat would be in the window and you could just hear him. I had very thin walls, but you could hear him holding the cat and like singing to the cat. It was actually super cute. It was so cute, and I'm so glad he had that cat.
Yeah.
And it makes me think, I'm so happy I have my animals. And like, I think emotional support animals are so important. Now, I'm not going to dive into the people that fake the service animal or register their animal as a service pet or emotional support pet. And it's not true, because I actually dated somebody that did that, and it was the biggest turnoff. And I said, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. First of all, that does happen. Like, whatever type of service animal it's going to be, whether it be a ESA, an assistance dog, blind dog, you have to get it registered properly. And they give you an identification card. Some people who don't go through the process or go through those steps are like trying to fake it, or they get the manufactured vests.
Yeah. There's like
so
something.
That does happen. But.
Yeah, I saw something on YouTube that was like, get your animal registered as an emotional support pet within 20 minutes. And I was like, that's wild to me. But what do I know? Maybe
20 minutes?
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. All you had to do was go onto their website and like register your pet and like say why, and then they would send you a certificate.
They got to pass tests. The animal does.
It wasn't like a service animal. It was like an emotional support or something, like the way they worded it. Do you see like signs now in stores that are like no emotional pets, service pets only?
Yeah.
I think because right now that's a thing, but I don't know.
Unfortunately, a trend.
Yeah.
But I have not done that, and neither have you.
Somebody told me I should, and I looked at them and I was like, why? And they're like, because you love Andrew and you bring him everywhere anyway. Plus he can get free flights or like whatever. And I was like, why? Why would I do that? Why would I take the advantage from somebody else like you who would need that?
Racer flew with me on a plane. It was so cool.
Yeah.
It was so cool. He went underneath my seat and he was just chilling.
Yeah. So my point is we shouldn't take advantage of that because there are people out there that need those pets.
So if I'm going back and forth debating whether I should apply for one and go through the process again, maybe now is not the time where I absolutely need one.
I don't think you need one.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. I don't think you need one.
But it would be cool to have my dog on the plane and be like, yo, can I get a ride to the bathroom?
You can't ride your dog like a friggin' horse.
But imagine.
You can't ride your dog like a horse.
But imagine.
You can't.
But imagine.
And I think a lot of that too would be protection. He would protect you from certain things.
If I get a pet, they would probably be best friends.
Of course, Andrew loves other dogs. Yeah, and my cats like dogs too, which is terrifying that they do, but they do.
If I do get one, make sure they have off vest time. Do you have anything else to say?
I don't, but I am proud of you for recognizing that you're not sure if you want a service dog, because I know I joke about it all the time. And I'll be like, just get one because I don't know if you want an actual service pet or just a pet.
If I were to get a dog, it'd be a service dog.
Okay.
I think.
What about a cat? Would you just get a cat?
I would just get a cat.
Okay.
Which, by the way, do you want to go get a cat with me?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great.
Okay, sweet.
If I were to get a new service dog, it would be through the same organization, Canine Companions for Independence.
Okay.
For an assistance dog. Okay. Should we wrap up this episode?
Let's do it.
All right. What is your musical recommendation?
My musical recommendation is Lula on the Beach by Seaway. And Seaway. I don't think they're a band anymore. But if you listen to the song, you're like, oh, this is about a girl. But then you watch the music video and it's about dogs. And it's so cute.
It's about a dog?
It's the first music video that made me cry tears of happiness. So go watch the music video. It's called Lula on the Beach.
You cried?
Yes, tears of happiness.
Okay.
Because they're cutest little puppies, dogs. I don't want to spoiler alert, there's dogs everywhere. And it's so cute.
Okay.
Lula on the Beach by Seaway. What is yours?
You've Got a Friend in Me by Randy Newman. And I think that's, at the end of the day, they can work for you. They can be a service dog of any type. But at the end of the day, you've got a friend as well. They're your friend.
That's so cute.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Roller and the Stroller. I have been Josiah. I'm here with Kelly, the stroller. Kelly, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye to the people.
All right. We'll be back soon. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Roller and the Stroller podcast. We're rolling out.
This is a Sidewall Studios production.
Boom! Oh, we should keep that moving.